Now that we are officially in the holiday season, I'm going to review my favorite holiday movie. No, it is not A Christmas Story, which is my number 2 favorite. Although I do live in Hammond, Indiana, that is the local favorite Christmas movie, a movie that we take a lot of pride in, being that it took place in Hammond. But it's my number 2 favorite next to The Night They Saved Christmas. Now, before you listen to the rest of this review, if you have not seen it yet, pause this video. The movie is available right here on YouTube. I will provide the link in my description to make it easier for you to find. See it, because I'm going to give this review geared toward you having seen it. So basically, if you've seen it, you know the plot is about a company dynamiting in the North Pole in search of an oil field, and they don't know they're endangering Santa Claus. So, this movie came out actually, it came out the very same year as A Christmas Story. For that matter, it was also the same year as Ghostbusters, 1984. The same year Michael Jordan made his NBA debut, so that was a very historic year. So, why didn't The Night They Saved Christmas stand the test of time? Now, note that it was a made-for-TV movie to begin with. But, I watch it every year. So, maybe one reason is while most Santa movies portray Santa Claus as a magical man, this one takes a science fiction approach to explaining all of his secrets, like how he slows time down to deliver the presents in one night, and how the reindeer are able to fly, and so forth, and I don't think that's the way people like to see Santa. But for me, it makes him seem more realistic, and I think Art Carney did a better job playing Santa Claus than any person who ever played Santa Claus. Now, let me talk about the cast. Some you may have heard of, some may have not, and some their careers never really took off. Like, the star of the movie, Jaclyn Smith, we all know her from Charlie's Angels. And, perfect representation of a sexy 80s woman. Art Carney, of course, was Santa Claus. Murdoch, played by Mason Adams, he was a career supporting actor. Never really became a star. He got his first big break was as a radio actor. On a 40s radio show, yeah. Before there was television, there were radio shows with actors, radio stories. You get the idea. In case you didn't know that, now you know it. But he had a long career, but was never a real big superstar. Paul and Matt, the father, never took off. The oldest of the 3 children, he's on one of the hospital dramas like ER. I don't remember if it was ER or something else. It's one of those. June Lockhart, who was Mrs. Claus, she was Donna's grandmother on Beverly Hills 90210. So here and there, and Paul Williams, who was Ed, he was a famous singer-songwriter, wrote more than he did sing. So that's the cast out of the way. By the way, I wrote the Wikipedia article on this movie, The Night They Saved Christmas. Okay. Now let's, there are some things about the movie that don't make much sense, but, it doesn't take away from how good it is. Like, okay, can't Santa come out of hiding and prove his existence without revealing the location of North Pole City? I mean, in the setting of this movie, they are apparently getting presents from him for real, so how does that alone not prove his existence? How does that alone not, tell the oil company something? Okay. So Paul tries to convince them to stop the dynamiting. That doesn't work. They think it's a joke, so he takes the wife and kids to see it. So when they come back and try to, tell them where, the oil is, they think that their competitor, Gaylord, I wonder if he's related to the Gaylords who own half of Nashville, drugged them to imagine it. Okay, I can see why you would not believe in Santa Claus. But being 4 people being drugged to hallucinate this non-existent place and all being sharing the same dream of a man who remembers one of Claudia's Christmases, being drugged to imagine the whole thing, that's totally believable. Okay, just go with it. So, okay, the kids take off to warn Santa Claus. The mother goes after them. They're rescued. They're trapped in an ice fog in North Pole City, while the boss has every intention of dynamiting on Christmas Eve. Until, they're about to... They find oil where Santa said it was. So, but they still need to tell them not to dynamite, so he radios the guy in the hut. The guy in the hut gets on the snowmobile, rides out, stops the dynamiting, and the hero of the whole movie is an unnamed character who only makes a brief appearance. Very interesting. That's not criticism at all. Now, another... So you get this anticlimax after that, where, they're still not home. And, if this was your first time seeing it, the part where, the kid said, "Dad, can I sleep with you tonight?" Yeah, I know what you were thinking, but back then it meant just that. Sleep meant sleep. Okay. So they come home, the robot comes. Wow. For the time this movie was made, that robot was very futuristic, but now it looks, it looks old-fashioned by today's standards. Oh, what... If you grew up in the 20th century, or if you lived there, the year 2000 seems so futuristic. By then we were supposed to have flying cars and everything else. And now it's been 12 years since then, and... Well, we're making progress. Schools are getting rid of textbooks in favor of iPads and such. I expect we'll eventually have cars that drive themselves, but okay. That robot resembles an old-fashioned computer. Yeah, there's now old-fashioned computers. Wow. But to get on topic, okay, so the boss comes, and, he sees Santa Claus. He now knows he exists. So, the father decides that he's gonna move, the family back to Los Angeles. Okay. But then, if you watch the closing credits, you see the youngest kid getting as his Christmas present a snowmobile, and he starts riding it. So, how's he gonna ride a snowmobile if they're gonna move back to LA? Okay. But, you know, it's a great movie. It's just, if you saw it, maybe not too many people saw it, but if you did see it, it's just, well, there's a magic to it. It's a lovable movie. And that's all I have to say. So, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know.